Hi, so a few days ago I had this question in my mind, which is basically I was wondering how is the fourth equation of motion dimensionally in accordance with the principle of homogeneity. The principle of homogeneity basically states that two quantities can only be added or subtracted if both the quantities are essentially having the same dimensions or are the same, or let's say kilogram and meter cannot be added. It has no sense. You cannot add 10 kgs and 5 meters. It does not make any sense. Either you need to add 10 kilograms with some other kilograms, or then 5 meters with some other meter. So only then it will make sense. And here we have this equation, which is really weird because it's a true equation, yet this is not dimensionally correct, or so it seems. Because in plain sight, we just see that S, that stands for distance in the nth, distance traveled in the nth second. The dimensions would be length, and here we have initial velocity with the dimensions lt minus 1, and here we have acceleration times n, so on the whole you would have lt minus 2 times t. And standing for the seconds. Now the issue here is how can you add meters with meter per second? That is the issue here. And while I was wondering about it, the answer that I got was very elegant. So this distance that we are talking about, the distance in the nth second, it's not just any type of ordinary distance we are talking about. It's not some ordinary distance. It's the distance traveled in nth second. That is to say that in the nth second, which is 1 second, whichever second it is, in that second, whatever distance it travels, that is the measure of this. And if we think about it, what is velocity? Velocity is distance or displacement per unit time. And what is distance or displacement? In 1D it's the same. Again, if the time here is 1 and the distance traveled, it's, let's say, something like 10 meters, in that second the velocity would still be 10 meters per second, in the sense it's traveling 10 meters in 1 second. Here the velocity and the speed essentially refer to the same thing. That basically is trying to say that velocity and speed are the same when time is 1. So essentially this is a dimensionally correct equation, as for this case where speed is standing for just 1 second, velocity and speed are interchangeable. So if you are taking this dimension to be lt minus 1, you would have to do the same for this one. Consider this one's dimensions to be lt minus 1 as well, because the time is 1 second here. So it was a very interesting thing that I learned that day, that velocity and distance are just the same thing if without having to worry about time being more than 1 second. It's pretty obvious, but again, it's so elegant that a question like this could arise, which is truly beautiful.